You've been stuck for a while now, telling yourself you'll deal with it tomorrow, that maybe things will change, maybe they'll get better. You smile less, you second guess everything. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, yet you call it love. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that being loved meant being hurt, that if you could just be more patient, more understanding, more easy to love, they'd finally treat you right. But here's the truth no one tells you. Toxic love doesn't always look violent. Sometimes it looks like long apologies, big promises, and little lies. It looks like someone who swears they care, while slowly breaking you down. And you stay, not because you're weak, but because your nervous system has been trained to confuse chaos with care. You're not addicted to them, you're addicted to the cycle. This video is not about hate. It's not about turning your pain into bitterness. This is about waking up, slowing down, getting quiet enough to hear what your body's been trying to tell you all along. This isn't love. Tik Nat Han once said, "People suffer because they are caught in their perceptions. That's why we stay, because we keep holding on to the illusion of what could be, while ignoring what is." But you don't have to keep sacrificing your peace for the possibility of change. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to let go. You're allowed to heal. And if you don't know where to start, this video will walk you there. But before you can let go, you have to face what you're really holding on to. Let's start there, with the truth most people avoid. Part 1. Recognizing the suffering. You don't always know it's toxic at first. That's the trickiest part. The red flags look like passion. The chaos feels like intensity. The apologies come just in time to confuse you again. You stay because it's not always bad. You laugh, you connect, you remember the good days. And you tell yourself the pain is just part of love. But love isn't supposed to feel like survival. Thich Nat Han says, "When another person makes you suffer, it is because he suffers deeply within himself. He does not need punishment, he needs help." But here's the truth. You are not the healer of someone who keeps hurting you. And the longer you carry what is not yours, the further you drift from yourself. Mindfulness doesn't knock. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It sits with you when you're too tired to think, too numb to cry, too confused to explain. It asks the questions you've been avoiding. What am I feeling right now? Is this love or just fear dressed up in hope? And when you listen, really listen, something inside you shifts. Mindfulness invites you to witness the tension in your body without judgment, to stop explaining it away, to simply notice it. It gives you permission to see your pain without rushing to fix it. You don't need solutions yet. You just need to tell the truth about how much it hurts. These aren't random emotions. These are signs. And mindfulness is how we translate them. It breaks the autopilot. It shows you that what you've normalized isn't actually normal. Most people stay in toxic relationships because they've learned to abandon themselves quietly. But mindfulness pulls you back into your body, your breath, your truth. Because you cannot escape what you refuse to see. But once you see it, you don't go back. Seeing the pain is the first step. But escaping it, that's where things get complicated. Because even when we know it hurts, we often can't walk away. And that's where the illusion of attachment takes hold. This takes us to our next part. Part 2. The illusion of attachment. We rarely stay in toxic relationships because we feel loved. We stay because we feel afraid. This is the illusion of attachment. It convinces you that pain is proof of love, that leaving is betrayal, but staying is loyalty. But what you're calling loyalty might just be fear with a pretty name. You don't miss them. You miss the version of you that didn't feel so small around them. You miss the dream you built in your head. Mindfulness doesn't care about illusions. It doesn't ask, what do you want to believe? It asks, what is true right now? And the truth is this. Love should not make you anxious. It should not silence you. It should not leave you wondering if your worth depends on your ability to endure mistreatment. Mindfulness puts a mirror in front of your survival mechanisms and whispers, is this really what you want? You see your craving for approval, your fear of abandonment, your deep longing to finally feel chosen. And then, in that space, you breathe. And maybe for the first time you realize what you're holding on to is not love. It's a wound disguised as connection. Letting go isn't just painful. It's terrifying because it feels like losing a part of yourself, but you're not actually losing love. You're losing the version of you that settled for being half loved. Tik Nat Han says, to let go means to deny something to oneself because there is a greater thing to gain. That greater thing is peace. The illusion of attachment says, you'll fall apart without them. Mindfulness replies, maybe it's time to fall apart so you can rebuild yourself whole. So what happens when you finally see through the illusion? You stand at a crossroads, go back to the comfort of pain, or choose the discomfort of peace. And choosing peace, that's where the real battle begins. Part 3. Choosing peace over pain. Letting go doesn't feel like peace at first. It feels like grief, like standing barefoot on broken glass, trying to walk away from something your heart still wants, even when it's killing you. But peace isn't a feeling, it's a decision to stop negotiating with pain. If you have to abandon yourself to keep someone, that's not love, that's self-betrayal. And you can only play the peacemaker for so long, before you realize you're the only one laying down their weapons. Thich Nhat Han teaches us to approach our pain with compassion, not resistance. That's what mindfulness gives you, the strength to feel everything without needing to numb it or lash out. When you feel the urge to run back, mindfulness says, pause, breathe. What are you running from? You're not losing love by letting go. You're releasing the version of love that hurt you. And in that release, there is something sacred, the rediscovery of self-worth. Awareness is powerful, but it's not the end. Now it's time to move, to stop waiting for the right moment, and start walking away, mindfully, one brave breath at a time. Part 4. A mindful breakaway. There will be a moment. Maybe it's a quiet night. Maybe it's in the middle of an argument, where something inside you finally says, I can't do this anymore. That voice is not weakness. It's the beginning of your return to yourself. Leaving isn't just about packing a bag or saying goodbye. It's an inner departure. From guilt, from false hope, from the version of you that kept choosing pain just to feel needed. Mindfulness turns leaving into a sacred act. It helps you breathe through the heartbreak instead of running from it. It reminds you don't need the other person to understand. The real closure happens when you stop reopening the wound. You're walking away from the belief that love has to hurt, that your silence keeps the peace, that your needs are too much. Thich Nhat Han said, to go home to yourself is the greatest act of love. And that's what this moment is. It starts with a boundary, a journal entry, a walk instead of a phone call, giving yourself permission to grieve without letting that grief drag you back. Let mindfulness be the rope you hold on to, not the thing that dulls the pain, but the thing that teaches you to live through it, breathe with it, heal from it. And when the mind asks, are you sure? You return to the breath. And you say, yes, I'm not going back to pain just because it's familiar. And after all the pain, the questions, the silence, comes the return, not to the relationship, not to the past, but to yourself. As we conclude, let's come home to ourselves. You didn't just walk away from someone, you walked back to yourself. They don't see the nights you cried without reaching for your phone, the mornings you woke up and didn't chase a text. But this journey was never about them. It was about proving to yourself that you could stop begging for peace and start becoming it. Mindfulness didn't erase the memories, but it gave you something more powerful, the ability to stay with yourself when everything in you wanted to escape. It taught you to feel the grief without drowning, to name the wound without becoming it, to choose peace one breath at a time. If you're still in it, still afraid, that's okay. You don't have to rush your way out. But you do need to wake up inside it. You deserve a love that doesn't ask you to abandon yourself. And until it finds you, let you be that love. Breathe. Stay. Come home.